Welcome back to An Hour. I'm Kate Becker, bringing you tonight's top story detailing the attempted burglary that posed a threat to our national security. I will be joined by Detective Eric Singer, who will tell the story of one Royal Oak dentist and his partner who got on everybody's nerves. Detective Eric Singer never thought he'd be interrogating Theodore T. Ferry, more commonly known as the Tooth Fairy, on charges of burglary and larceny of a flash drive containing security codes for the Pentagon created by world-renowned computer genius Marvin Greenberg.
Why were you seen fleeing the scene of the crime that night?
I had terrible gas. I ate Mexican food.
But he also never thought he'd be instructed to arrest a nationally recognized dentist after being presented with surveillance footage detailing the Ferry's heinous crimes. Our story begins in early August when local dentist Dr. David Zeman was approached by the Ferry one evening after business hours.
He's the perfect criminal. Everyone loves him. He's the Tooth Fairy. I figured he'd be dumb enough to go through with it. I just didn't think he'd be dumb enough to get caught. Thank you both for coming in today. I'm so sorry I'm late. Hey, Ian, how are you?
Good.
We're gonna need to look at those chompers. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you just a couple questions. How old are you?
10.
Okay. And have you had any cavities in the last year? Okay. And do you brush and floss every day? Wonderful. Ian, do you know your home address? Because every big boy needs to know their home address.
404 Charles.
Wonderful. It looks like you have a tooth that we're gonna need to pull. Now, I have to let the Tooth Fairy know tonight where your room is. So can you tell me in that house where your room is?
Next to my daddy's office.
Okay.
Wait, you know the Tooth Fairy?
Every dentist knows the Tooth Fairy. Mr. Greenberg, you still have your Blue Cross insurance?
Yeah.
And your copay remains unchanged?
Yeah, are we gonna be done here soon? I gotta get back to the office.
Daddy, no.
Ian, sit still.
Daddy, no.
Ian?
Daddy.
Ian?
Mama told me not to come.
We'll be done here in just a sec. Are you the Greenberg from Greenberg Security?
Yeah, why?
Nothing, I just read about you in the paper last week.
Okay.
Your house must be impenetrable.
Yeah, it's a fortress. It's the same security system they use at the Pentagon. I created it myself.
Where's that flash drive at? Oh! Oh! Shoot! Oh!
You're the Tooth Fairy.
Hi. Yeah, I am the Tooth Fairy. But you need to go back to sleep now, cause I'm gonna take your tooth from under your pillow and leave you some money, okay? Sound good?
Okay.
Okay, here we go now. Are you ready? Boop. Okay, alright, here we go now.
So tell me what happened next.
We were notified of a break-in at 404 Charles at 4:37 a.m. A highly classified flash drive was reported missing. Surveillance footage from the Greenberg residence shows Mr. Ferry at the scene of the crime. We quickly apprehended him.
I've been expecting you, Mr. Detective.
Having a relaxing afternoon, are you, Mr. Ferry?
Even fairies get the day off.
Well, I apologize, Mr. Ferry. I'm gonna have to cut this one a little bit short. You're under arrest. Please stand up, put your hands behind your back, and come with me. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go, hands in the air. Hands in the air.
Let me just get my favorite
Slowly
sweatshirt, please. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. I can't fly without my tutu.
Once you found the flash drive, Mr. Ferry, what did you do with it?
What flash drive?
The one we have you on surveillance taking from the Greenberg residence, Mr. Ferry.
What is this you're giving me here? Come on! That could be any fairy! That could be Tinkerbell for all we know. Speaking of Tinkerbell, I gave her a flash drive last week.
Mr. Ferry, please watch your language here. This is a government building.
Like I give a fuck about a government building.
You will care about a government building when you spend the rest of your life in one.
Excuse me, detective. Wings, Halo. I don't know if you haven't noticed, but if you lock me in a cell, I'll be out next week getting kids' teeth from under their pillows.
Who do you think you are? I run this town.
I run children's mouths. You think you're so good, cop? You can go f yourself and drive in your car and f your wife until your skull f her brains out, you dumb motherfucking pig with your stupid ass shoes and your dumb gun like a mother.
Detective, how did you figure out that the dentist was involved?
After an extensive interview with Mr. Ferry, I quickly realized that there was no way that he was intelligent enough to execute a plan of that magnitude on his own. Who was your accomplice, Mr. Ferry? You are scum. And you know what you've done? You've ruined every morning for one kid. Because you know why? He's got dentures, a full set of dentures at the age of 10, and every morning he's reminded by the click when he pops it in. What do you have to say for yourself?
I have one word for you, Mr. Detective. Zeman.
Dr. Zeman and Mr. Ferry were both tried as co-defendants and sentenced to life in prison. Mr. Ferry was also ordered to have his wings permanently clipped. The prison dentist pulled out 11 of Dr. Zeman's teeth. You know what they say, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Thank you for joining me, Detective. For an hour, this is Kate Becker. Good night.